good night, everyone. Tonight, God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Summer Jill Spirits Around. Me give you a little shout news on today. It might be a little horrible, you know. Um, this is a six. This case is kind of old, but it had picked back up again on yesterday. So this is a 16-year-old girl. She was robbed and thrown in the freezer. So New Orleans teen folks into a freezer doing McDonald's, on robbery. She called 911 only to hear her mother voice because her mother is a dispatch. So that's a wonderful feeling that you in a situation like that and you call 911 and your mama answer the phone. That was amazing. And so the mama was able to comfort her and she still had to do her job because she still had to ask her daughter questions, so she still had to answer the question. So New Orleans 16-year-old girl, she was robbed at gunpoint, then forced into a freezer at McDonald's. So when she went to call 911, a comforting voice was on the other line, her mother. So her mother was a 911 dispatch, here, Tina here. So here was on desperate need of help. So it was very helpful, that her mom was the one who took the phone call. So now she still had to do her job by asking her daughter certain questions. Because she said, Mom, I'm at, everything being recorded. So she still had to ask the basic questions, to send the police out there to her location. So Hill was working at McDonald's on South Claiborne, at the time of the robbery. So DSU investigator obtained the civilian footage of the incident. So the video showed when she said a woman, came inside the restaurant and locked Hill in the other stall in a freezer. So Trina was scared. She was scared because she never imagined, at my first job that she'll be getting robbed and not let alone having a gun pointed at her. She was able to remain calm and she had her phone on her at the time and she the one that dialed 911. So she was the one that, and good thing she had her phone with her. Because these teenagers, they carry their phone with you everywhere they go, but thank God she did. Because if she would have went in that freezer, I don't think nobody would have known, you know, that she was in the freezer. So she was able to remain calm, and she had a phone on her when she was able to call 911 while she was in the freezer. So Tina was worried because she didn't want her mom to have to bury her youngest child. She could lose her life, but she saved her own life. Now she was very happy to hear her mom's voice. So Clark is an assistant operating manager at the Orleans Parish Communication District. So the Clark was a south. The Clark was instead of shot. She was in, when she answered that phone call, and that was her daughter. She was in state of shock. She was in state of shock. She set to be off. She was set to be off. You know, but God worked in mysterious ways. But she decided to hang around to help out, and good thing she did help out. Because if she would have went home, she wouldn't have heard about this here. Besides on the news. So thank God she was still off. Decided to stay late to help the staff, but she was able to keep her daughter calm and provide critical information to get the New Orleans Police Department to that scene. So her mom said what had broke her when her daughter said she was in the freezer. She was like the freezer. That was really broke her. So the mom said while she was talking, the cold tear was coming down her face, and she was still trying to do her job, and she did the job to the best of her ability because that was her daughter. You know, that was her daughter. So she had to do the best that she can to keep her daughter calm, until the police get out there. So once the NOPD was on scene, Claude needed to make sure her daughter was okay. So then she went right back to work the next day. All that activity happened, and then the next day she went back to work. So OPCD Executive Director Tyree Morrison said he will remind everyone that we have people under the headset that have feelings and emotion. Now we are committed to your safety 365 days, a year, even when it's your own child. So she was still doing her job, even though that was her child. She really wanted to break down, cry, run to her rescue, but she had to be calm and she had to do her job. You know, so Chloe said she had never received a call from a family member. So this was the first that didn't receive a phone call from her daughter. So Chloe said, when you call 911, do not hang up the phone. Give us a chance to answer all your questions. So they stated that Clark is the greatest of all time. That is the greatest dispatcher, is known. So Tina Hill was working at McDonald's and someone robbed, the restaurant and threw her into the freezer. Thank God that she had her phone on her and she was able to call 911. So that's the story on the McDonald's. Um, her mom answered the 911 call and comforted her and kept her calm. So good thing her mom was a dispatcher and her mom was really set off to get off. And good thing, she still hung around because of the case. Look what happened. So if her mom wouldn't have stayed and left, she would have heard she would have heard about it on the news. So everything worked out fine. Her daughter is okay. So I'm glad that the daughter had her phone on her, being thrown in the freezer. So we would have never known nothing about it if the daughter would have had everything, you know, on her phone. So the daughter lived. She okay. So they are investigating the incident right now. So the mom took the call and still did her job, asking her daughter the main questions that she needed to send the police out to her scene. So when family members do call, she's saying she still had to do her job. She still had to do her job. She still had to calm her daughter down. She still had to answer the question. But while she was doing it, she felt so much pain, tears just started rolling down her eyes, especially when her daughter said, "Ma, I'm in the freezer." So that's all the short news I have for you on today. Y'all have a blessed day and I'll see y'all in the next video.